Hello, my name is Janice. I am a family nurse practitioner. My cousin through marriage, Pastor Nate, asked me to do this um, just from a medical professional's standpoint on this whole COVID thing and what God is teaching me through all of this. I currently work in a primary care clinic here in rural Thurmont, Maryland. But at this time, I am now only clinic on Fridays due to the cutback in the amount of patients that we're seeing for only acute things. Most days of the week, I am now working in what we call COVID assessment and testing sites. So these are usually open air sites in tents. However, we did just recently move into a building. These are for patients who either screen for positive symptoms when they call in to their providers, or they are currently waiting for their COVID testing to come back, or they are positive and require medical care, so that we are keeping them separated from the rest of the general population. So I am seeing suspected positive and known positive COVID patients. What I am seeing is not real high acuity. These aren't the super sick patients. However, they are scared because to them it's a really big deal. And the lesson kind of that I've been learning through all this is about fear and how crippling it can be if we allow it to be. And I think God talks a lot about this in the Bible to give us reassurance, because we are going to have that. And I'm talking about true fear, not like the fear of God, which is more of a reverence or respect. This is the, stops you in your tracks and won't allow you to do what God is calling you type of fear. Prior to being a family nurse practitioner, I was a critical care nurse for many years in inner city Baltimore. Because of that experience that I have, I am currently on a list for first deployment, meaning my health system will use me in critical care should the surge happen in this area. So I would go back to do that for the makeshift ICUs. And I actually volunteered to do that based on my background. And I have felt God's calling to do that. And reason being is, I don't have a lot of fear over this. And that's because I know that when God calls me to do something, He has, told us over and over again, and has made promises to us that He will keep His commitment to us, meaning He will strengthen and give me all the tools that I need in order to do whatever He is calling me to do. He is all powerful and can make any of that happen. So people keep saying, "Oh, you're so brave" or something, but it's not me. I know that if I just step out in faith, that God is going to protect me, and I don't really have to worry about it or have fear about it. I mean, I'm taking every precaution and wearing all the required PPE for what I'm doing, but I feel that when I'm allowed to push aside the fear and anxiety and worry, that I truly can concentrate on what I'm doing and take care of patients, because they are scared. And I do have to have my wits about me, so to speak, in order to give them good care. I totally empathize with the medical professionals that have the fear of bringing it home to their loved ones. Fortunately, I'm not in that situation because I do live alone, except for 2 fur babies. But I totally get that, and that would probably be a fear of mine, to bring that home to someone I love and care about them and feel almost responsible. So I get why a lot of medical professionals feel that way, as I certainly would. I keep in mind 2 Timothy, for God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love, of sound mind. Sound mind to me meaning, we got to remember who God is and what His promises are, and not let this fear allow us to, not step out in faith. Along with this virus, I think there's also a lot of fear, obviously, with death and dying, which of course I think would worry any one of us, because it reminds us of our mortality. But as a Christ follower, we know that we have eternal security. This is not it. This is not the end game. We don't need the bucket list or the, to live in that fear that this is all we get. There is so much more for us on the other side. So, I'm not going to be foolish or careless with my life. However, to give my life to God would be the ultimate part of trust and sacrifice and faith to Him, because my life here is just so fleeting, and I don't want to live my life by a measurement stick, because I know that it will be eternal, and God has so much more planned for me, because this world was not His design the way that it is now, but someday it will be, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that I will be able to take part of that someday. So I can't even say that death is really scary so much either for me, or I would feel for any Christ follower, because there's so much more to this life than our life here on earth. But again, a lot of time loves us, binds us to here because of our loved ones, and we want to be here for them. And that I also understand. But again, I wouldn't say I'm careless. I just don't worry about that. Plus, death is inevitable. It all happens to us someday. Of course, we all want to live long lives, but also as Christ followers, I think we have to keep in mind that this isn't our story. It's not about us and what we can get out of life and what we can experience and what we get and the house that we have and the kids that we have. It's not our story. It's His story. I feel that this is what I was created for, and it's not all about me. God loves me, and He does want His best for me, and I know this, and I know that I'm going to be most at peace and most joyful if I follow His path for my life. And I've certainly experienced this in my life many times. God didn't say it was going to be easy. We were going to have trials. We were going to fail. But, we pick up and we keep going, and we just continue to trust Him. And that's kind of how I look at my career as well. I've known from a very early age that this is what I wanted to do with my life, even though I was not even following God for majority of it. But I'm very happy that He has, despite the decisions that I've made in my life, directed me on the path that I believe He's already wanted me on. So I would just really encourage people to remember who God is, and that we just have to have faith and trust in Him, and that He loves us very much. Don't believe the deception and the lies about who He is, because that is what develops worry and fear in our hearts. So Nate also told me how to pray. I would definitely pray for comfort for those people in the medical professional, that we have the equipment that we need in order to take care of patients, and that hopefully this virus runs its course soon and we can get back to our lives. However, I've been reading a lot of stuff online about, maybe this is a good time to evaluate what is most important, and maybe God was saying, using this as an opportunity to us to remind us of what is important in our lives, and that it should be about Him and family and our commitments to that versus running the rat race. So I hope this is encouraging, and thank you all for your prayers. I really appreciate it.